my fellow friends. Welcome to the program Careers Connect, an initiative of Mr. Rajiv Soni, a chartered accountant by profession. My name is Neelam Bedi Son. I'm a certified human resource trainer. I'm into industry from last more than 20 years, and I have a working presence in Delhi and Dubai. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected education systems worldwide, leading to the near total closure of schools, universities, and colleges. The shutdown of schools, compounded by the associated public health and economic crisis, poses major challenges to our students and their teachers. Our public education system was not built nor prepared to cope up with such a situation like this. We lack the structures to sustain effective teaching and learning during the showdown and to provide the safety net supports that many children receive in school. While we do not know the exact impacts, we do know the children's academic performance is during the pandemic, along with their progress on their development skills. The students are practically confused, seeing the number of career options that are overwhelming and even confusing. Here, we at Careers Connect aims to help students to make an informed choice by interacting with top non-professionals globally. The program strongly exhibits their career paths, their struggles and sacrifices they made and became successful in life. Now I invite Mr. Rajiv Soni, the mastermind of this program, to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. Careers Connect started actually in the year 2014 when a premium school in the NCR had invited me to come and speak on several professions to their high school students. I found that a little unfair because one person cannot really be talking on more than 2 or maximum 3 professions. So I invited 30 of my friends who are at the top of their professions, and 30 included 4 rather from overseas. There was a friend in Czechoslovakia who's a restaurateur. There was a pink diamond merchant in Tokyo. There was so like this, we had collected 2-3 other people from the US and also a horse trainer from Dubai, and they spoke about how their last 20, 25 years, 30 years had gone in their profession. So that was and that gave an insight into their journey. Today, several years later, the pandemic, of course, is very unfortunate, but it has also created an opportunity. And this is how we have Poonam Lal with us today, and we request her to share her journey with us. Over to you, ladies.
Thank you very much, Rajiv. Today we have with us Mrs. Poonam Lal, a dynamic and a versatile personality who strongly believes that there is no shortcut to success. We need to put in consistent, hard and smart work, create focused goals and evolve with time and situations to achieve success. Mrs. Poonam Lal is a founder and managing director of Marketing Solutions Private Limited, an events and experiential marketing agency in Delhi. During the initial struggling years, the company was closely associated with LG Electronics and Nestle. 15 years of working in this expertise space has earned the loyalty of some of the premium brands like Apple, Volvo, Panasonic, Benetton, Levi's, JBL, Toshiba, LG, and Hero Group. Poonam has won a gold medal in English honors. Her roots are from Impal. Growing up in a small valley town has its own benefits. Having moved to Delhi soon after college, in spite of a complete difference in culture and pace, Poonam's survival instincts kicked in. For the first couple of years, she continued writing for some publications in the Northeast and then worked through a slew of jobs from an international trade fair management company, an advertising agency, to revamping India's first and largest amusement park, learning different skills along the way that would one day come in handy for her, and a highly experienced market genius. Poonam believes that women should always pursue a career because it gives them a sense of self-worth. In fact, she is of a belief that working mothers nurture more independence and strong children, which is most truly reflected in 3 children. She is no wonder that she was entrusted to lead the Gender Equality and Women Empowerment portfolio for the Event and Entertainment Management Association. Poonam looks at this as an opportunity to give back to the industry that has given her an identity. She also managed the We Care helpline for women in distress, which was actively changed to COVID Relief 24/7 helpline during the pandemic. So, fellow friends, let's welcome on board the inspirational and sensational personality, Mrs. Poonam Lal. Welcome, ma'am, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those very kind words. I'm a little overwhelmed. I hope I prove to be a little deserving of it. And thank you, Rajiv, for thinking of me to come and talk to these children who are, standing at the threshold of deciding what they'd like to do with their lives. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, ma'am, for taking out time and coming here. Okay, Poonam, you grew in Impal, Manipur, where you completed your education, topping in and as a gold medal in English honors. Could you tell me how come you thought of a career into events?
So, well, I wish I had a nicely prepped answer for that, saying I always dreamed I would be doing this. But that would not be really true. I did not know at that time that the love for events was being sown in my head even as a child when I got addicted to books. I
Wow,
loved reading stories and telling stories, and every story that I read or narrated in my head, I imagined it in a visual form. So
wow,
I think all the fields that I have worked in have readied me for my role as an event manager. So creative storytelling, people intensive. So that's what I do. My first job was in class 12 to make some extra pocket money. I proofread for a local newspaper. I
wow,
graduated to write columns for them, and I continued my love for telling stories, this time through my writing.
wow,
Then I shifted to an international exhibition organizing company where I was in their PR team, where I learned people management and liaison.
wow,
I joined an advertising agency and as their PR manager, and again ended up being involved in client servicing and proactively understanding design and presentations.
wow.
So finally, I landed up in Apughar. I'm sure everyone's familiar. It was India's first and largest amusement park.
Correct.
And I was taken on board as their marketing lead. And
Okay.
this was where I was formally introduced to events, though on a smaller scale. We wanted to drive footfalls into the park, and our target was young spenders. So we strategized to do things that engaged them, created fun events that brought them in. So we did a rain dance, we did the cool
Wow,
mist party, we did the ice games. So all of it was, it was psyched to draw in an audience and engage them through an experience. And that's how it all started. Finally, I quit Apughar when I was at the top of my game. I
wow,
felt I was stagnating. Maybe the challenges were over. And there was this restless energy in me that was wanting me to push the envelope further, to
beautiful.
do a little more and to do something of my own. That's
Wow,
how I left and I started marketing solutions. Like everybody new to business, I struggled, I stumbled for a couple of years to find my niche till we finally cracked the winning formula and with something that we designed for LG, and no looking back ever since then.
Remarkable, I would say, remarkable. Because from the writing world, you see, into publication, you were into writing, publications. But as you said that you were so keen on reading and you loved fairy tales. I think you imagined and you had that, imaginative, I would say the dimension in you, which you exhibited in your work.
I hope so. I hope my clients believe that.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, tell me to a layman, this term experiential marketing. Could you explain us what exactly it is?
Sure. So experiential is a more recently introduced terminology that the event industry has staked a claim on. I'd say experiential is derived from the word experience,
Wow,
where we speak of immersive, live, memorable experiences that help campaigns deliver brand messages. So experiential marketing engages consumers using branded experiences, and this is sometimes referred to also, like I said, live marketing or
wow,
an event marketing experience. So the idea is to create a memorable impact on the consumer, and experiential marketing helps to humanize a brand because you're kind of giving it a certain a look and feel where you're also engaging with the consumers senses, all the five senses, sometimes taste, sometimes visual, sometimes a tug of emotion. So it's kind of
beautiful.
that. And when we design any kind of a dealer meet or a product launch or a brand activation, what we're trying to do is to create an experience for the end user. So an
Wow,
experience that will kind of be a bridge between him and the brand. So that at the sensory level, like I said. So that's what experiential marketing truly is.
commendable, commendable. Okay, your field is very innovative and creative, and there's a constant and continuous learning required in this field, right? So, could you tell us how how your career, how you started it, and what were your teething problems initially? And could you also tell us that how you design your sets and how you go about, is there any layout you make initially, or the company gives you that leverage of doing things on your own, or do they give you a set format? How do you do it?
Okay, to first answer the question of what is the kind of educational background that we need, when I started events, there was no threshold for entry into the business. You just needed to be creative, you needed to be well networked, you needed to be smart, and you needed to have a team that could put together a design that was required. Now kids are so lucky that there are some very very good programs in colleges that are available that treat event management as a full-fledged subject that children can
Correct, correct.
get into, and then they can specialize as they go along. When they've
True,
learned the basics of every department, they
correct.
can go ahead and specialize. If they want to do designing, they want to do 3D modeling, they want to be in client servicing, marketing. So now it's very very defined, and there are lots of options available. Some of the best colleges in fact are run by people who have been part of this been part of shaping this industry. So the options are many. For us it was like it was trial and error, I say, but we learned on the job. uh,
That's
uh,
really nice.
so how it happens is a client has a need. It could
Of
be,
course. Sure.
there is a product launch, or there is a media event happening. So they call agencies and they brief them that this is an event that is supposed to happen. My product is this, and my end objective is this. Now, how do create create a pitch for me which addresses my needs? My product shows my product as a hero, addresses my need to communicate and find that perfect communication environment and media. So then agencies go back to the drawing board. We brainstorm, we research, we
Wow.
come back to the client with ideas. We do, in fact, our presentations have, we kind of create all the walkthroughs, we create three-dimensional designs so they feel that they're standing in that space,
Hmm.
imagining it. And once they approve, we go back to our production team, create a BOQ of material, of requirements, then add content, um, which could be performances, which could be graphics, which could be films, and then
Wow.
one whole event comes together in place. So there are multiple layers to it, multiple people involved in it. That's how an event from start to end would be.
Wow. We'll be supporting two videos, after this, which will one will be the raw one, how you do it, and one will be the final, synopsis of how you how you how the baby turns out to be. So
True,
okay.
true.
Now,
How the backstage work,
yeah,
how the backstage work,
correct.
beautiful looking set and
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah. The viewers should, also see how much hard work is put in behind such great events. Okay, tell me something, Poonam, is there any eligibility criteria or age for joining this profession?
Frankly, no. If you've, I've seen kids who have finished their 12th and get involved in events as freelancers and gradually work their way. They learn and work their way to whatever is of their interest. However, I've always believed that it is always good to empower yourself with education before you launch into a career.
Correct,
Because while, like I said, no rigid eligibility criteria for joining events, I still recommend education. It will always give you an edge.
back
So
up. Yes,
supposing you've done your MBA and you come into event marketing for events, you have an edge over someone who's probably just learned everything on the job.
correct,
Similarly, creative always requires certain skills, like he would have to either have gone to a design school or he would have to know softwares on the system to be able to work. So I like I said, while of course you can learn everything on the job, but you will you this will the education will also give you uh, a plan B tomorrow. If you decide that no, you want to shift,
correct, correct.
it'll give you a plan B. So I think it's important to have some kind of a training and education to come into events.
So professional education is a must. You feel it further fine, it makes you more a finer person at work.
It does. It gives you, you become a better worker. Your understanding
Correct.
is, you have an edge with that also. Plus, yeah, then qualifications do get you a better paycheck.
Correct, correct. Okay, what do you feel are the career opportunities? Because you see, events are never 24/7, right? So, what are the career? How lucrative? Also, the next question will be that. But first is, what are the career opportunities?
Okay. So there are various within the entire event spectrum. There are a lot of sub or secondary careers that you can, or they're not even secondary, they're main careers within the event spectrum. So if you look at it, an event manager could be doing corporate, he could be doing social. So social is huge. It's all social functions that we have on a day-to-day basis. Weddings is a huge space
Yes,
within events.
true, true.
Then you have something called the MICE specialist, which is
Wow.
marketing, incentives, conferences, and exhibition specialists.
Oh,
And then you have venue managers.
okay.
I'm doing an event, I need a venue for it. Then there are people who are venue managers who search for venues for us and
Wow.
recommend venues for us. There are people who just specialize in exhibitions and conferences. Then there are people who do just set designs. Look at Umang, who does the most beautiful sets. Who did the movie Mary Com.
Very good.
And
Yeah.
you have set designers like Sumant Jaikrishnan, who
Yeah.
are iconic. They're known for the kind of sets that they can put up, whether it's the IFARs or the film fairs or all. Those are the kind of sets that they do. Then you have decor specialists, like if there's a wedding or
Oh,
there's a party, simply do decors. You do floral arrangements. So It's a
Wow.
very lucrative career. You have production houses that take a design from paper and put it out there as a finished product. So you have
Wow.
huge production house. Uh, you have catering businesses. So it's an endless list.
Huge.
Everything
Huge.
that you, yeah,
Huge.
it is a huge opportunities, and it is a very well-paying industry because if you're good at your job, you can command your price.
And how lucrative it is to start with.
Like I said, you have to work your way up there, but it is one of the um, most lucrative businesses you could be in. They're very, very, very well paid, um, and the scale of your events determine the kind of money you charge, and the kind of clients that you work with determine the kind of money you can charge. And kids who work with us are pretty well paid. They're paid at par with a lot of other industries.
Poonam, tell me, you were working with the Ghar, doing so innovative techniques there, like rain dance, and so many innovative things. And then suddenly you jump into your own profession or your own setup. Tell me, first, how did you feel when you had your first baby project starting with the new marketing solutions? How did you feel, and what was it?
So my first big, okay, not even big, my first event I'd say was an activation for Nestle Tetra Milk.
Wow.
And
Okay.
uh, they gave me a packet of milk which was priced at some exorbitant amount of money. कहाँ हम mother dairy से दूध लाते थे पहले, and they gave me a
Uh-huh.
tetra pack, said this doesn't need to be boiled. This, I said, "Arey, we are playing
Very
with mindset.
sophisticated.
How on earth am I going to tell people कि जो 24 रुपए का दूध शायद मुझे मिलता है वो मैं 108 रुपए का लेकर घर पर रख दूं?" So, but then
Exorbitant price. Uh-huh.
that was the challenge, and we kind of cracked a very innovative campaign for them where we said, let's do kitty parties where we
Wow.
get together with who are the influencers. They are the ones who are going to decide what milk comes into their house,
True,
and
true.
we say, we sponsor your kitty party, you bring in 15, 20 friends, we'll bring in a nutritionist who will tell you why this milk is better than the open milk that you like, the unpacked milk that comes into your house. And it just started like that, and we did that we got that project. The Nestle people were very happy. It got extended to 6 months. So for the first 6 months we were on a roll. We said, "Arey, hamara kaam
Wow.
chal gaya."
सिक्का चल गया.
Yeah, but it was, yeah, of course, it was challenges were so many because we had to first make sure that the ladies were of a certain, they needed a certain income category of ladies. Then we needed proper trained nutritionists who would
True,
be
true,
able to
true,
question answers.
true.
But it was, I think, quite an amazing activation
Because,
that we managed.
yeah, because such an exorbitant price, such a difference. I think you're extremely lucky. God has been very kind on you, and
Yes,
you have done projects which are just offbeat, I would say. Commendable,
true.
I would say. Okay, Pune, you worked with celebrities and all big names, and when I see your resume, it's like, my God, such a beautiful, work experience. Tell me, what was your most challenging assignment where you felt अब तो छुट्टी हो गई?
वो हर शो में होता है. So for me, each show, no matter the size, no matter the scale, it is a challenge. Because when we go live, everything, all elements of the show have to come together in perfect precision. And for a lot of it, we rely on multiple partners to make that happen. So there is one set of people who are looking after technicals. There's another set of people looking after production. Then there are artists, performers. There's MC. So there are so many things that we rely on to make one complete event. And I always believe that there are no retakes in live events. It's not like
Wow.
a show that I'm doing where I can say, hey, let's do one more take of this. It is, once I go on stage, it just moves like clockwork. So every event is a challenge. But if I was to talk of one really challenging assignment, it would be an activation that we did for Panasonic for Sound for India.
Oh,
So the micromanagement of the entire project, it involved 300 people
wow.
simultaneously engaged in executing the event across 70 cities.
Ooh,
And
big.
we were using 10 cantors, 11 exhibition modules, one music bus, and 31 artists in various locations. Uh,
Wow.
we were trying to beat different borders that we were crossing. We were trying to beat weather conditions to put together this. But the
Wow.
excitement for us also lay in the design aspect of the whole media that we used. So we innovated with structures. We used a Music Express bus, and everything just ended up looking like a great product. And we won many awards for that particular event. So the challenge and the stress and the pain points are all worth it in the end.
If there is no pain, there is no gain.
I
You have
agree.
to. You have to really slog and slog and slog. And and doing a project like this, really pets you up. You feel so elevated, अरे कुछ किया है जिंदगी में, that way. That kind of feeling is there.
Absolutely.
Okay, what are the pros and cons of this career?
So if I look at the pros, I'd say for those of us who thrive on challenges of creativity, I think this is one of the most creatively challenging industry. It allows you to just let your imagination go whichever direction. If you are able to execute what you're dreaming, you're in the right profession. So creatively, yes, it's a challenging and fulfilling industry. Like I said, it does not require any formal education unless we're looking at someone in creative designs or accounts or something.
Correct.
And yet it is very well paying if you're, and most importantly, it allows you to travel the world. You get
Wow.
to meet the most interesting people. You experience new things. You're in the thick of action. And if you look at the cons, I'd say it is one of the most stressful and high pressure jobs. Um, if you consider, even Forbes has placed it at number 5 in a list of 10 most stressful jobs in the world.
Uh,
Um, then your previous history of work is no guarantee for future business, because unlike advertising, which works on retainerships, we work on pitches.
wow.
Each
Yes.
brief has to be given to multiple agencies to pitch so
Mm.
that the best idea wins. And also, like I said, treat each event as your first, because one goof up, one technical
Beautiful.
error,
Beautiful.
one
Beautiful.
fault can result in you losing the business, no matter how long a relationship you've had with the client. So,
Beautiful.
and long working hours really take a toll on people's personal lives
True, true.
if we do not know how to balance it. So
Yeah.
those, I think.
So how do you balance it? How do you balance it? That was my next question, in fact. How do you balance, such a
So you just learn as you go along. You invest in good people. You learn how to delegate and share work. You
wow.
have to work as a team. You have to, trust your team members to be able to execute it the way you would execute it. Trust and faith on your team members, so that you can
Beautiful.
also then take pressure off your own people and give them time off. So my team should be okay with letting me handle their job when they need a break, and I should be okay letting them handle the job. So that kind of trust we have. And we work flexible hours when there is no work, so people do not mind putting in extra hours when there is a lot of load. And so if I was to just sum it up, it would be a lot of teamwork, time management, delegation, and discipline. That's how you balance.
Perfecto. Perfecto. Okay. Now, if you turn the clock back, would you like to be in the same profession again?
Absolutely. No other profession.
No thinking back. So tell us, what advice you would like to give us to our children and their parents regarding this profession,
Um, so what advice would you think would
especially
work to?
Poonam, in the pandemic times when the season is low, events are low. You know, you have to tell us, is there any future in this or not?
Of course. So I think if we look at the event industry, it is uh, one of the fastest growing industry that exists. If I take away the pandemic time, I'd say that till pandemic hit us, we were a thriving, buzzing industry, and we will be again once we get through this. Because all said, celebrations are the soul of India, and
Oh,
be it events, be it festivals, there are thousands of events that are held every year, which are
correct,
professionally managed. And
correct.
for each of those events, someone like me or another event agency would be working. So there are always opening for good resources. The scope is huge, like I said, and it's a fast growing dynamic industry, great job prospects. The best part is you can either be working as a proper employee, or you also freelance. There are lots of freelance opportunities available for people who want flexibility. Also, this is one business that will inculcate all entrepreneurs skills in you to be able to take it to the next level and one day become a agency owner yourself.
Wow.
And it fuels your creativity. It encourages you to think out of the box, and tomorrow there are so many other options that could be available to you to specialize in.
Very nice. And you're also a chairperson, with Emma, Events and Entertainment Management Association. Do you feel that this particular position has benefited you more in your profession?
So I'd say it has given me an opportunity to give back to the industry that has probably given me my identity. Um, since this industry also employs nearly 45% women as a workforce, I've always felt that women were at a slight disadvantage because, sometimes people forget that it's not just this job that we do. We go home and we have multiple other things that we take
Yeah, we
care of.
multitaskers. Yes,
Yes, multitaskers and loaded with responsibilities,
correct, correct.
which maybe a man doesn't have to so much really be so much bothered about. So this also the fact that it's a 24/7 industry, I used to see issues which with my own girls when I would be working. So probably being a woman employer made me a little more sensitive to all these things. So we started this campaign where
Yeah,
when
yes,
given this responsibility, I said, let's first take care of safety.
correct.
When girls travel back home at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, make sure that there's a trusted employee that goes to drop her. Make
Beautiful.
sure, that for the longer nights that she has worked, she gets 1 day off or 2 days off in a work from home
That is
facility.
the we care. The we care you're talking
That's
about, right?
care, yes.
Yeah,
So we care is basically women empowerment and care.
true,
That's
true,
what we.
true.
So it's just, so I think it was a very good thing that I got to lead this. In fact, I've been leading it since it was put together in 2016. So I got to do a lot of things which I felt were needed for the women in the industry to make it safe. And there are parents who have this concern that, is this industry really for girls? Should girls join this? I think it's a great place for girls to learn and grow and go to the top of the career.
And I
And
think women make a mark in the events because they are not only
absolutely,
innovative, very creative, right? And
innovative.
and
Yeah.
and there's a famous saying, that women is like a tea bag. You only come to know how strong she is when she's put in hot water. So I think too many things.
And I'll still add to that, saying that women don't need to be put in hot water to for anyone to know how strong they are. They are born strong. They have, it's inherent to their DNA that they are very strong personalities.
Agree. Totally agree.
Um, they just keep it under lock and key for the right time.
This comes to the end of the program. I don't want to end, but I have to end because we have shortage of time. A little appreciation package for you, Poonam. A strong woman is someone who is not afraid to share her opinion and speak the truth. This is about you, right? Like you think. She should be a good listener, a keen learner, and should be a complete package of kindness, generosity, compassion, and integrity. A woman in today's world needs to be financially independent and self-sufficient and create her own happiness index. So thank you very much, Poonam, for coming and sharing your valuable information. So thank you,
Thank
Poonam,
you
once
so
again
much.
for coming. And thank you,
Thank
viewers, and thank you, Javed. Thank you, Rajiv. So bye-bye, Shabak here. Let's meet again. Bye-bye.
thank